Welcome to the December edition of the Tough Love Arena State of the Game stream. I am Paul, your host and one of the co-creators of Tough Love Arena. And here we're going to spend the next 30 to 60 minutes telling you all about the state of the game. What's going on, what are we working on, and what exciting things do you have all to look forward to. So let's jump in. What did we do in the past? What did we do in November? So we launched, we started our collaboration with Wondercab. For people who missed the last state of the game, Wondercab is a program run at a sort of barcade out in Brooklyn in New York City called Wonderville. Wonderville is a barcade full of indie titles instead of the usual nostalgic ones. And Wondercab is this cool program they have where they put different indie games on it for a 3-month rotation. So we just started in December. We're going to be there for another 2.5 months. There's going to be a party in January if you're local. We'll have more information about that coming out on socials as we get closer. And it's just been super exciting. It's been super exciting to play it. I've lurked once or twice to watch other people play. And also as a result, so very much related, most of the work that I did in November was preparing for that. It involved totally rewriting event mode, whereas event mode used to just be like a versus setting of like, oh, I'm going to do this type of versus mode now. No, event mode is like sort of flipping a switch on the cabinet, and now the game boots in a totally separate mode of totally separate assumptions, and it empowered me to do a lot more and add a lot more options that wouldn't interfere with the normal play experience. So that's totally redesigned. And if you're doing a cabinet or local setup, it should be an even cleaner experience. Also added a few sort of quality of life things. Now the desktop app, both free and Steam, will auto boot to full screen. Added some more like delay and animation to some menu transitions. Added a gap when you disconnect from someone online so you don't immediately re-queue on accident. And lastly, added that little falling in animation during round 1, actually to sort of problem solve, because on weaker hardware, like for example the Wondercab, it can take a minute when it transitions from the loading screen to the ready screen as it starts to play audio for the first time, or those certain sound effects for the first time, and draw on the canvas for the first time. There can be a little bit of like frame loss, and so the fallen animation essentially gives us some buffer time and a cool little thing, and we can always rework that later into being something more bespoke or custom, but for now I think it looks nice. We had our monthly survey, and as always, I'm going to show off the most important numbers, and they were all good. People think the game is fun, or at least the people filling out the survey. People still strongly agree that it's easy to learn. People still want to play it. That's good. They're still very likely to recommend it to beginner players, and they're still pretty likely to recommend it to experienced players. So this is all wonderful. Again, these are my sort of canary metrics. Thank you everyone for filling out the survey. I read the notes, even though I don't always take the time to include them in this presentation, but I read all the feedback. And this is really valuable for me just to make sure that, you know, we haven't royally screwed anything up. I will also say, I didn't bother because it's a lot of copy pasting, and I figured my time was better spent elsewhere, but looking at all of the character surveys, I can just show you real quick. Let me just pop that open in 1 second. It's very inconvenient to try and put into the slides, but I can just show you like this. So I was very happy to see that basically every character was above average on strength and fun. So Noodle was, 3 to 4 on strength and a solid 4 on fun. Rice was a 4 on strong and above 3.5 on fun, strength and fun. Beef, no one thought Beef was weak, and most people thought Beef was fun. Pork was, a solid 3.5, above 3, and pretty fun. Definitely fun. That's like an average of a 4 actually. With that, Beef might have pork maybe has the most 5s relative to everything else. That's actually, wow, yeah. People who play pork really like playing pork. And then Onion was very strong 4-ish and on strength, and also 4 in fun. Please correct me on all of my impromptu averages. Oh, and I forgot about Garlic. Garlic was also strong, and like Pork, the people who play Garlic really enjoy playing Garlic. So, thank you as always for taking the time. That's great to hear. That's great to hear that I didn't totally kill the meat characters in the recent Link patch that went out like a month and a half ago. This is always very nice for me to read, and hopefully it doesn't take too much of your time. So, that was November. What's on the developer's mind? What's going on in the present? I will still be polishing a few small things for event mode, or fixing bugs, like we pushed a bug fix yesterday, fixing a bug introduced by my changes to the falling animation, which was for the Wondercab. So there's still a little polishing to do there. The bulk of the work is done, but there's always going to be a little bit more cleanup. Caber Toss V2 is almost done. Amy just told me yesterday that the animation is done. So as soon as I have a free night this evening, I will start plugging it in, playtesting it. I'll push it to Canary again. If you subscribe to our Patreon, where's the camera? There it is. If you subscribe to our Patreon for $5 a month, you can play everything a little bit earlier. We'll put the patch on there to just make sure nothing's too weird, and I hope to have this out within a week. I generally feel that gameplay and game balance is in a good spot right now. No character, especially going on the poll, no character seems incredibly imba or incredibly pointless. And so with this relative stability and with, the Caber Toss work basically being done, I'm trying to focus more on larger projects. And now we can talk about the future. So, what's coming up in December and beyond? The second annual birthday tournament, Tough Love Arena turns 2. We'll be running it the first Friday of January. It will be just like last year with the same usual skin rules. Entry gets you 1 skin, top 8 gets you all 6. If you already have all 6 skins, there's no reward for you there, but we're also going to do a Matcherino this time. So, you can check out the challenge right now and register. It is up. I will be sharing it in the Discord probably tomorrow with more images and resources. The Matcherino is not live yet, but I'll also be sharing that later this week. And I will be putting in $100 to start. So we'll at least have $100 for, I think at least top 5, depending on if we get enough money, we might pay all of top 8. I forget how we've done it in the past, because it's been a little while since we've done a Matcherino, but I've got some money sitting in the TLA PayPal, and we've been doing pretty good on our monthly bills. So check the Patreon for more info. So this seems as good of a chance as any to give some back. Also, Frosty Faustings. We have been confirmed and accepted to attend Frosty. So we will be running a little booth in the Artist Alley where we'll have probably 1 to 3 laptop setups. You can come talk to us, play some games, buy some merch. And we're also going to, for the first time at one of these events, try to run a side tournament. So we're still figuring out the details of that. If you are local to Lombard, Illinois, or if you're planning to attend Frosty, please reach out. And we can talk about, if you want to help out with TOing, we could talk about how you can help. I'm also happy to comp people for this because me and Amy are probably going to be at the booth and not able to be very hands-on. So yes, if there's something you're interested in, please just go ahead and DM me on Discord or on Twitter, and I'll make sure to have you in a list for when this starts getting a little bit more tangible. And yeah, we're going to have a side tournament. Maybe we'll give out the skins, the birthday skins, like we did when we had that random tournament right before Halloween back in last year. Back at the balance patch in October of 2021. So we could do something like that again. We'll figure it out. And lastly, what's the to-do? Those are some cool events to check out. Also, both of them will be added to the event page shortly. But what are we actually working on this month? We're going to release Caber Toss V2, again, hopefully within a week. I showed off a little cross-up experiment during last day of the game. You can check the YouTube VODs if you want to see it. I still want to visit that idea. I haven't really worked on it in November, but just that's still on the back burner to take a look at. Yes, that's supposed to be garlic. Thank you. Yep. Onion is already done. So Amy has already started animating garlic, but had to put them on pause real quick for us to do pork. And also I plan to continue work on the iOS app. So lots of just follow through on the many, many projects that we've picked up over the last couple months. And that's it. Time for the Q&A. I will start reading chat now. Please let me know. Please. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm just brain. It's been a long day. Please ask questions in the chat. If you asked a question before, please repost it starting now. And I will go through for about, 10 minutes or so and talk about whatever you want to talk about. Beard Boy asks, how are you feeling? I just got back from a week-long work trip conference thing, which was very fun. Super glad I went. But travel and jet lag is exhausting. And most of the people on my team basically called in sick today. Luckily, most people are still testing negative for COVID. I tested negative yesterday. But I am feeling exhausted and a little raspy. So I'm tired. But otherwise, I'm good. Last week was fun. I'm super excited about all the stuff we've got coming up. I'm super excited about Caber Toss. So I'm doing okay. Dawn says we're going to be at All Days of Frosty. Not 100% sure yet, Dawn. Waiting to hear back from the organizers what the actual days are. It wasn't clear to me from checking the website, like which days are convention days versus which days are like, just you can show up Thursday night to pick up your badge. So we haven't booked our flights yet, but me and Amy will be there for probably all of it. Dear Boy says, hope you get your rest. Thank you. Phil says, if I went to Frosty, would you rather I didn't enter the tournament? You can be honest. No, Phil, feel free. Any side tournament's fair game. I don't think anyone's going to enter the side tournament expecting to get first. Like, it's okay to be a killer. Besides, then that's another way to add your name to the Hall of Fame. Taylor Rice says, what do you think of the current strength of Rice? Specifically, teleport as a reversal, and dive kick as a neutral tool, and its ability to circumvent its low reward by hitting meaty, as well as the general, their zoning and damage. I think Rice is in an okay place. I know teleport has scenarios where it's weak. I know you've talked about in balance or other things potentially nerfing it further. Oh yeah, we had that conversation like a couple weeks ago about potentially making it throwable. I'm not opposed to that actually, for specifically the pork matchup. That might be a change I sneak in with when I update Caber Toss, but because I don't think it will be super consequential. And even if you're throwable, most of the cast throwing you in corner will still get you out of corner, same way teleport would. So Rice has that in their favor, and I still think the dive kick is fair. If it makes combos on meaty, well, Rice could already meaty you in 3 other ways. Like, you should be blocking. So I think Rice is in a good place. I'm curious to hear your opinion, Table, but I'm glad we buffed SWAT. But otherwise, I think things are in a pretty good place. Wilton says, what are some of the longer projects you mentioned earlier? Oh, basically just these. I've been working... I started the cross-up idea months ago. Really, April Fool's was like the original test. I've been working on the iOS app for a couple months now. Stuff like that. Just, to me, I'm framing it this as less of a month. Some months I'm fixing bugs, some months I'm pushing features, or, working on balance, and this is a larger project month. This is you're not going to probably see that many balance patches in December month, because there's going to be something big at the end. Kevin says, when should I start shaving? I don't understand why you would shave. Blue Icy Ash Ball, is the single player content actively getting worked on right now, or is it on hold? Completely on hold. From a game content perspective, I'm prioritizing the mobile releases, and then I think once I have at least iOS done, maybe both, the next big priority would be single player. Like the big checklist I've had for the longest time preventing launch was like single player content, desktop release, mobile release, and more involved mod support. So I'm trying to. We got the desktop working pretty well. I want to finish the mobile. I want to finish the single player, and then the mod tool and that kind of stuff is probably going to be post launch. So don't worry, it's still up there, but I'm trying not to split my focus and be slow at two things. I'd like to try and just get iOS done before I get too distracted with other stuff. Don says, my only chance of winning a TLA tournament snuffed by Phil. Well, we'll see. Table says, well, it can be median neutral and become a faster jump in with similar reward. That's fair. That's got to be some pretty specific timing, though, right? Or pretty specific spacing. If it's actually very easy to land, then I can adjust that to either make it much harder to meaty or impossible. Because I don't want you to be getting combos in neutral, but I understand how it could be meaty if just simply distance-wise you're hitting them for the last couple frames. So I'd have to take a look to see if that's super replicable. I have no idea what pipe wrench means. Oh, are you talking about breaking Phil's legs? Pure Boy says, I can't wait for the Brawlhalla mobile demons to come to TLA mobile and mess everyone up. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, last chance. Any other questions? Taking one last sippy. I think Noodle's in a good place. Likewise, I said all the characters are in a good place. I like Noodle's goofiness. I really like Soup. I know Noodle has some very specific setups that are inescapable. That has not yet borne out to be like a horrific balance problem, so I'm totally okay with it. I like Frenzy. I know Frenzy's changed a lot over the last year. I really like its current form. Yeah, basically his table said they're a low damage character who gets to have tons of insane gimmicks because they are low damage, and I think that's really fun. I'm really glad we were able to find a version of that in the game. Garlic was also kind of originally intended to be that. It's like, you get all these cool dash options because, you do way less damage on you, but Garlic still does respectable damage. Kevin asks, when is Lemon going to get slower? The problem is we don't want to make Lemon too much slower on startup, or else it's too trivial to jump. And we don't want to make Lemon too much slower on throw, like in movement, or else it's something that Beef can easily walk behind. Like, a projectile being slow is usually strong. Like, if I make Lemon faster, that's a buff, because then it's much harder to react to. And if I make Lemon slower, that's also a buff, because it gives Beef more opportunities to sort of approach and apply pressure. So, Lemon's speed is not, perfectly measured or something, but it's in the window of sort of Hadoken speed that I want it to be in. Oh, sorry, Snatcher Man. Just the bot is sometimes pretty delayed. We just had a very quick slideshow. You can catch it on the Twitch VOD later or on YouTube. Thoughts on Noodle's corner combos? I feel like they're really loving, long, and boring. I'm currently okay with them horsing. Noodle has to get you to corner. It's a fun payoff. It's a way that I can give Noodle damage in corner, but not mid-screen. Every time I accidentally confirm into Frenzy mid-screen, I'm just like, yeah, why did I do that? That was dumb. That's a corner-only thing, and I like that dynamic. I'm okay with it. Mashpass says, if you were forced to give garlic something new, what would you give them? I don't know. I think it would be really fun to give them no, I'm not going to say that. That's dangerous. I'm happy with garlic. I don't think garlic's really missing anything. I guess maybe it would be fun to give garlic a button that has more range than hotkick, or more range than roundhouse, but basically no combo potential. Like simply a poking button could be fun. If like not even like hopkick where you can RC it, like just for poking, so that garlic, you know, has some play even if it's very unrewarding at a middle range. That's just an idea off the top of my head. I haven't thought that fully through. Phil basically called it, sneak throw. I was going to say like some way to a throw mix-up that's stronger. I don't put it in because I know it would be too strong or obnoxious. But I was still going to say it as like, that'd be nice to give him. Maybe there's a way to make it bad enough. And then I remembered the last time I played against Phil, and Phil like beat me 20-0 playing Garlic, and Garlic doesn't need any more setups for throw. Just dash is good enough. So yeah, Garlic's fine. Okie doke. Thanks everyone. Yeah, Garlic is already grappler, exactly. Thank you everyone for stopping by and asking questions. Once again, if you came in a little late, we have the birthday tournament the first week of January. That link will go out in Discord and Twitter later this week. And we'll also be at Frosty in the first week of February. More details about that coming out in the coming weeks. And in the meantime, we're going to be working on some stuff. So stay tuned. And thanks for playing. Again, I can't believe it's been almost 2 years. I don't know if it feels like shorter or longer. It just doesn't. It's crazy how normal this feels now, I guess. But I don't take it for granted. This is a very cool experience and a very cool opportunity to have. So thank you for that. Thank you for playing the game and sharing the game and all that stuff. Yes, to many more years. Have a good night, everyone. This has been December TLA.